One Dirt Road.
Yo.
Tell him now.
Vauxhall, Brixton, Lavender Hill.
What?
And a Laos.
Yeah?
Laos Subak.
Bomba
Yeah?
clock, Laos.
How long you done, Laos?
19 years.
Bomba clock.
Free the guy.
Laos get 24, but that's a light work. Laos Su come around, me have 5 left, and it's done.
Welcome back, Red Talks. You already know what it is. Like, comment and subscribe. These are the type of videos that young people will see and get gassed. Man said he's done 19 years, he's got 5 left, and it's light work. Let me just put this out there to every single young man that's wanting to do something stupid at this moment. Know that prison is the biggest waste of time in the world. It's the washest place in the world. I don't care if you see people with phones, of computers, or they're watching all the newest shows. Sitting down in a cell and not being able to go outside is an L. Now, there's one thing that you can never replace when it's taken back from you, and that's called time. You sit down for 19 years. Do you know how many things have happened in 19 years? There's been wars that have been fought and finished. There's people that have died. There's new systems, new way of living out here. You've been sitting down for 19 years and you say it's light work. It's not. Mentally, it's a long, long, long place. For anyone that has a life on the outside, prison is not for you. See, he's turned prison to his home. That's why he says it's light work, because he doesn't even know what road light. I know people that have been in jail for so long, they barely miss the streets, bro. This is the reality of this knife life and this stabbing and killing. You're gonna go to prison and you're gonna do a big bird. And we also got the horrific news of the young girl that was stabbed. And as more news is getting revealed, we're learning that it wasn't her that was going out with the guy. She was trying to defend her friend and got stabbed. I can understand 2 men having war and getting into combat. I'm not saying it's right, but I can understand it. I can never understand a man pulling out a knife on a young girl, 15-year-old girl at that. A beautiful 15-year-old girl, rest her soul. That young man now's life's ruined. He's gonna go to prison and sit down for a lot of time. Thing is, people are saying that there need to be harsher punishments. 23 years is a harsh punishment, whether you see it or not. You know what I'm saying? But that's not the question here. The question is, what's the mindset behind the young men picking up a knife and going outside and trying to stab someone with it? That's what we need to identify. Where did that mindset come from? On Twitter, that people are trying to say Andrew Tate and the red pill community is the reason why this happened. But from what I know, Andrew Tate tells you if you're going for a breakup or a girl's left you, to take it on the chin and start working on yourself. If a girl did reject him and he was taking Andrew Tate's advice, he would have just kept it moving. So in hindsight, people just say things because they want someone to blame. Like for me, I was blaming the parents, saying that the boys' parents, how could they not be watching that their son's leaving the house at 7 o'clock or 7:30 with a machete in his leg to go and see a girl? Like, who does that? I'm saying that's not even gangster. You know what I'm saying? These little youths nowadays think being badness is for gal. Badness not for gal, badness for man. And I'm not even talking about being badness in general. I'm just saying in general, badness is not for gal. You know what I'm saying? I hate man that got bare energy for gal, but ain't got the same energy for man. I understand a man who's got energy for everyone. I respect that. Not to say it's good to be energy for gal, but I'm saying a man that would put in work on man as well. But there's some man that only got energy for gal. They're gal clowns and they're idiots. And we need to raise awareness so men don't think, and especially young men, think it's all right to go around stabbing young women. Because this is not what we promote and this is not what we stand. We stand far against that. I stand far against that, and every man that I stand with stands far against that. We don't believe in taking life. We believe in preservation of life. You know what I'm saying? I would tell any young man out there, you know, if a girl rejects you, keep it moving. It's the best thing that could ever happen. Like I said in my video, I've done a video before called How to Deal with Rejection. And it went through all the ways that you go for rejection. And not one time did I tell a man to get aggressive. I said, actually, that's counter-proactive to try and get better in your life or trying to get the girl back. Does it make sense? It shows how weak of a man you are, that you can't even be in control of your emotions. You let your emotions overcloud your judgment to the point that you're willing to pull out a knife and use it on a lady. This is a sad one because I need everyone to understand that prison is not a bed of roses. Prison is probably one of the hardest places you will ever go. And the reason why it's so hard is because there is a time in every prisoner's life where he is just by himself looking at 4 walls. And that's when your mind starts playing tricks on you. You start to think about everything that's happened in your life. And all the decisions, was it good, was it bad? And you wake up and you go through the same routine day after day after day after day. And you might get a visit once in a blue moon and it changes it up a little bit. But in hindsight, all you're doing is going through the same thing over and over and over and over and over again. You might move to another prison, or switch it up. Now you have to get into a new routine over and over and over again. Some prisons, they got man in there 23 hours if you ain't working or doing anything. You're going to get a job cleaning the landing, but you couldn't get a job when you was on road. It's funny, innit? Someone will work for £9 a week or £8 a week in prison, but couldn't work a McDonald's job on road. And it shows you that we are failing the youngsters by not giving them not just opportunities, but giving them knowledge of life. You'll never get the time back that you waste. Prison is a waste man place. I'm telling you this. There is the worst of mankind in prison. I'm telling you. I'm not trying to glorify prison. Prison, we glorify it too much. A man comes out, we're pouring champagne on him like he's achieved something. What did you achieve, bro? But your friend will start a business and you won't even go down there and say congratulations. You won't even like his posts on his business page. But you'll see a man come out of prison. And this is why I say prison is glorified to the young man's mind. But it's not a glorious place because somebody tells you what to do when you can do it. Someone will open your soul, you ain't showering. Someone will open your soul, you ain't eating. You think that's a nice way to live. You got money, but you can't spend your money how you want. You're only allowed to spend this much amount of money. And then on top of that, the dangers of prison. See that young man that stabbed that girl, his life is over. When he goes to prison and they find out the child killer of the little girl is in prison, youths are gonna wanna smash him up left, right and center. He's gonna hold a couple rushes and a couple beatings. This is what happens in prison. And then prison licks hit different, bro. Trust me. That's a lot of testosterone built up in someone's arms. So a lot of times us as men, we don't say this, but we need to say this more. Prison is not a glorious place. It's not a place that we should be glorifying. And any man that sees his friend glorifying it, pull him up on it. Say it's not a glorious place. You know what I'm saying? We need to get out of this mindset that prisons are, I can ride it and all this. Anymore, man, it's not about if I'm riding it or not. It's just not a place that we should be promoting and making it look good to youngsters. Oh, I'm cooking at the kettle. I got KFC. I got this. I got that. Yeah, cool. You got all of that. But do you have your freedom? Do you have your freedom? Or are you still a slave to something? Because now you're a slave to another man. No one sends you no money. How you getting money if you ain't got no job and no one sending you nothing? No postal. How do you get money? I think they pay you like 60p, £1 something. I don't even know, bro. And now you're messing with the taxpayers' money. My taxpayers' money is going up. I'm spending it on people that want to reoffend again. Is not just community centres. Everyone just comes with community centres like community centres help. It's not the only thing. We need to do early intervention. For a lot of these kids, their gang life starts at year 7 to year 9. They start to get in touch with themselves and start to find out who's there and what block they're from and this and that. That needs to be the most important time in their life. From 11 to 13 or 11 to 14, them kids are getting intervention. Every kid gets it. It's standard. It's mandatory on every child. And we bring them to prisons and make them sit in prison cells. The youths that are moving mad, we take them to prisons and we make them move like that. And if the kid's moving too mad at home and the parent can't handle him, we put him in a halfway house where he has to learn what life is and fend for himself. Teaching kids life skills will help them to develop. And if we know youths have got beef in different areas, we need to start doing intervention. We take kids out of area and start putting them in different places like wells and stuff. And if you get caught back here, you're getting nicked and going in jail. You start to do more things, you know. I think there is a lot of things in place, but obviously you could bring the horse to water, but it doesn't mean it's going to drink. I could give you all the ways on how to fix your life. People are blaming drill. People are blaming this. People are blaming single fathers. What happens is we blame a lot when things happen, but we never look for actual tangible solutions. We never sit down as a community and say, let's make all of our children link. How come all of our children don't know each other? Not on a bad man thing, all of our children just know each other in a community. Why are we so divided? Us as elders are fighting among each other online, on lives. You know what I'm saying? And in comment sections. We should be uniting and bringing our children together so that we can all understand one another. You know, understanding is key and fundamental. Understanding human life. And something that's not pumped into a lot of these children is God-fearingness. You know what I'm saying? Your kid will be out there doing a madness, but my kid's not going to want to kill you because my child's going to fear God. Hopefully, inshallah, that's what I pray. You know what I'm saying? Like, that I install in my child the fear of God over the fear of man. So my child, before he wants to do something to someone, he think, the Lord's not going to be happy with me if I do something like this. You know what I'm saying? I want him to feel like that. That's something higher than him and himself. But yeah, man, this is just a short one, man. People, take care, speak to your children, have conversations with your children. If you got boys, teach them that mashing up gal and doing over gal is not gangster, bro. It's the most weakest and fragile thing. It's nothing to do with masculinity. That's to do with something, that's something to do with something different. I don't know what that is. That's called that's called Roadman 2023. But that ain't got nothing to do with being gangster, nothing. Just let you know that. But anyway, we're out. Bow.